Good afternoon. My name's Adrian Moloney. I'm the Sales Director at One Savings Bank. I'm here today with Sally Laker from Mortgage Intelligence Holdings, and we're going to be looking at the specialist lending market today. Sally, about 18 months we've been on your panel now.
Yeah.
How's the influence, I guess, of the specialist sector affected your distribution?
I think the specialist lending has really made a difference to the broker proposition. You stormed the market with products that enabled them to cover all of their client needs. At a time where it was possibly easier not to go there, the specialist lenders have made that possible and been brave enough to extend the criteria to give that chance to the broker to sort their clients' needs out.
And I guess, you know, it was buy-to-let at the start. We've seen complex resi. What other trends have you seen within the network and the club, Sally, in terms of specialist lending?
I think it's a wide range. Brokers very much were sticking to what they know and mainstream lending, but you've widened the criteria in a number of areas. Buy-to-let, you were brave and you were quick off the mark with what you had on offer. And brokers found that reassuring, and I think the help and the marketing that's gone with that has enabled brokers to feel confident in those areas, and I think later life lending is the one that's on everyone's lips at the moment. And being able to go into new markets, I think the specialist lenders have forged the way in many ways.
I mean, we obviously came into the market predominantly, as you say, with the buy-to-let offering. We've recently improved what we've done in I guess, the residential space. What do you think that the market holds over the next 18 months, say, Sally?
I think certainly we and brokers have seen a large increase of their business through specialist lenders. And I think as you've improved your product range and you've understood what intermediaries are looking for, I think buy-to-let has been a big percentage of your business, and it's enabled it to be maintained as a reasonable amount of business through our brokers' portfolio. In the beginning, I felt there would be a rush for remortgaging of portfolio buy-to-let business, and it didn't happen. But I think now that everyone is getting their heads around the proposition and there's talk of interest rates changing, those portfolios are starting to move, which is a delayed reaction from the market, but I think a confidence that it's clear what's out there now.
I mean, we've certainly seen, and I think we've discussed it at various meetings over the last 18 months, we've started to see a shift potentially from landlords that are with closed lenders, for example, that are needing to make a change, whether that's into a company vehicle or removing or adding someone to the mortgage for future planning, starting to come in and looking to move those portfolios because actually the rates at the moment provide very good value with the competition that's out there.
Absolutely, and that's what I was waiting for, and I was beginning to think that wasn't going to happen, and it was just me remembering those days when we had lots of portfolio landlords, but I think it just took time.
Yeah, and I think you'll certainly see more of that over the next 12 to 18 months. Particularly, I think you're starting to see landlords starting to look at how the tax position is starting to affect them.
And starting to understand it.
Correct.
And I think even the lenders have now a much broader understanding of what their proposition needs to be. In the early days, everybody's proposition was slightly different, some confusing. I think it's clearer, and yours has been clear from the start.
Thanks, Sally. I guess as someone who runs both a network and a DA distribution, with your network advisors, I guess particularly attention to network advisors, what advice would you give them around the specialist sector?
They really need to make sure, I think this applies to all, to DA advisors and AR advisors. The most important thing is to make sure you understand the criteria. Gone are the days when you perhaps can submit something and hope that it might fit. Yeah. You have to be sure when you're giving advice to the client that you're advising them from knowledge and you know and understand the criteria. And those days are gone. You must be accurate. So look at the webinars, look at the marketing literature that's coming out, use the help desk if you've got any queries. Use everything that's available to you. Make sure that you understand the criteria from those lenders.
And hopefully a few people will watch this video today, Sally, as well. So we were talking earlier about technology. There's a lot of talk about integration, a lot of talk about APIs. How do you see technology, I guess, not just shaping the specialist market, but shaping the intermediary market going forward?
I think brokers embrace new technology because it makes them more efficient. And from my part, over the next 2 years, I think there's going to be a huge change because we need to enable brokers to be able to deal with their clients in a digital way, so that, and preferably, that enables the client to fill in a lot of the information as well, to make things quicker, and to be able to connect to lenders in a much more efficient way. There's a lot happening at the moment, but it's still in the early phases. I'm sure in 2 years' time it will be a much quicker, slicker process, and also a lot less paper and information having to be sent or scanned and emailed. I think we'll have quicker access and easier access to that.
And I guess with all of that, Sally, it will allow brokers to do what they continue to do well, which is writing business and advising clients.
Absolutely, and we've all embraced the changes that have meant brokers are working more efficiently, and that's enabling the lenders to work more efficiently. And anything that shortens that time makes it more efficient for the broker, but also a better experience for the client. It's a win-win.
Positive outcomes at the end of that,
Absolutely.
Sally. So I guess a final thought, specialist market, advice to advisors, Sally, what would you leave them with as a final thought?
I think they just need to make sure they know the industry, they know the criteria with all lenders, and that we really are going through new boundaries, and criteria is opening up, but it's also being innovative. And I think the one thing I would say with a lot of the specialist lenders, it's intermediary led, because it does need someone to explain it and give advice.
Thank you, Sally. So you've heard it here today from Sally Laker. Thank you ever so much for your time, Sally. Specialist lending, it is all about the intermediary. Thank you for your time.